Good evening, everybody. My name is Carmen Davenport from Black Dollar Indie, and this is Get the Bag Business Access and Gains, where we talk to local businesses in our community who have tapped into several resources, and we're going to talk to them about the gains that they made since they started their journeys. Today, we have with us Immanuel Ivey, Executive Director of Edna Martin, CBDO LLC, and entrepreneur. How are you today?
I'm good in yourself.
I am great, great,
Good, good.
great. Before we get started today, Ivy, I'd always like to talk about the person behind the product or service. So, in a few words, few seconds, just tell us a little bit about who Ivy is. What made you even start this entrepreneurial journey?
I'm a workhorse.
Mm.
Um, I have a high drive to get things accomplished. I love to set goals, accomplish them, and set new and additional goals after that. So that's just kind of just the type of guy that I am. But how I got started within the free business training in 2018, LISC Indy, one of our local funders, who supported our workforce development and education training and programming, wanted to tap into the entrepreneurship space. So at the time, they were working with Business Ownership Initiative, BOI, in which BOI had a micro loan program where they would help and support businesses that made roughly 50,000 or more, help them with additional funding to support their business. So List came to Edna Martin Christian Center and asked us, did we want to start a micro enterprise program? So from there in 2019, that's when we launched our micro enterprise program. So as we were enrolling participants and entrepreneurs within the program, we found out that a lot of them were at different places within their business as far as their business experience, capital, and or capacity. So from there, we broke out the program into four different tiers. The first tier was for individuals who just had an idea of business. They didn't have any business experience, but they wanted to go into business or have a side hustle. Tier two were the individuals who had a business, but they weren't formalized. They had customers, generating income and revenue, but they didn't have an EIN number to open a bank account, a business bank account, but also they didn't register with the Secretary of State. So we really want to formalize those businesses and move them forward. Tier three were the businesses that or entrepreneurs who were in business for, let's say, less than 5 years, 1 to 3 years, who were making roughly $50,000 or under, and they really wanted to scale and also build up their capital so they can really sustain. And then tier four are those entrepreneurs who've been in business for 5+ years who are making or generating $100,000 plus. So with that, we developed different programming and workshops for each tier. But specifically for this program, for the free business training, which is an acronym for fostering relationships, endeavors, and enterprises, that's when we really truly focused on the tier ones and twos.
So, during the process of creating this program, what have you found have been some of the challenges with getting those small businesses into the program or getting them to commit to the program?
Well, as far as registration, that really wasn't a problem or issue. We will
Okay.
always receive 50 to 100 individuals registering for the
Yes.
program, but the main issue was individuals being committed and understanding that even though that this is a free program, it added a lot of value to the entrepreneurs. A lot of times, people don't respect or honor free. So if it's free, I can skip 2 3 classes, or I don't need to do the homework. It's okay. But we were like, no, we really want you to do a deep dive within your business, within the materials. Um, like I said, the acronym is fostering relationships, endeavors, and enterprises. So we wanted a cohort based training where the entrepreneurs are really connecting, they're bonding, They're doing B2B business. They're also, referring other customers, individuals, to the different businesses. So we really wanted to foster that relationship. And in doing that, you have to do the homework. You have to engage within the class. So that's kind of really was the biggest challenges is.
What are some of the things that you've adjusted to? So you started out, you had some of those hurdles in the beginning.
Mhm.
Now we're here in your 2023, 2024 program. What are some of the initiatives you initiated now that maybe you didn't have back then that you think made a big difference in those commitments?
We started the program in 2019. So I was actually the facilitator for about 2 years.
Okay.
Then from there, I did get promoted to the senior director of workforce development entrepreneurship. So I just didn't have time to be in the classroom like that. So we hired a young lady named Kelly Evans, in which she added on additional support and programming for the entrepreneurs who were really in the ideation stage. So from there, Kelly transitioned on to another organization, and then we brought in Joy Harmon to help facilitate it. And then she was on a contractual basis with the program. And then from there, we hired you, Carmen Pumpkin Davenport, to help develop and really provide additional expertise, additional curriculum, and information and knowledge to the entrepreneurs. So, yes, I was the founder of it, but we had great facilitators beyond me to really build and develop the program. So, this is where we are. Additionally, for the first few years, we had limited resources. So, we will always have a pitch contest, but we only had one winner at $500.
Okay.
So now, with the support from IAAQLI, they have provided us with a substantial grant in which now we provide $6,000 for our pitch contest
Wow.
winners. So first place is 3,000, second place is 2, and third place is $1,000.
Talk about getting the bag.
Yes,
Talk about getting the
we got
bag.
it.
What are some of your greatest business assets or gains in this particular program or even in your personal business? Because I see here you're also an entrepreneur, right?
Yes. But really for the program, I'll focus on first. Just seeing the growth with all the individuals and entrepreneurs that we worked with. We actually just had our 5-year anniversary back in October of
Congratulations.
2024. Thank you.
Congratulations.
In which we served over 250 entrepreneurs,
Wow.
and about 70% of those entrepreneurs are still operating in business. So it's just a joy to see on Facebook or other social media platforms, the entrepreneurs that we worked with, see them still selling their products or services, building, what they're trying to do in their entrepreneurial endeavors, but also the opportunity to support as well. So one thing I do like to do is connect entrepreneurs together, but also support them. So that's why I was just huge on contracting with you, Black Dollar Indie, but also others, to show that it's not just about me and the program. It's about really fostering those relationships, endeavors, and enterprises.
I love, love, love that. And I was going to actually talk about the access piece of it
Mm,
because I understand that in these programs, they were in the free business training program, but you also connected them to outside resources, right?
yes.
Talk just a little bit about the access part. What type of access did these individuals have outside of the Edna Martin program itself?
Yes. So we do partner with Martindale Bright with CDC, in which they have their Micro Enterprise 2.0 program. So they do provide additional marketing resources, accounting and finances, but also business coaching. So every individual or entrepreneur that comes into our program gets at minimum 2 business coaching sessions. And then from there, they will enroll in the micro enterprise program where they can gather additional resources and services from there. Also, we have partnered with the Success Plug, and that's Joy Harmon. And she has a entrepreneurship essentials boot camp program in which we have selected 20 to 25 entrepreneurs, either in our current cohorts or our previous cohorts, to do a deeper dive, within their marketing plan, also strategic planning, and then they will also develop an additional pitch to kind of see what they've learned through that process. So it's just great to have those additional partners that we can refer to. We will be actually ending our lead within entrepreneurship in Martindale Brightwood, but we do have a great partner, Martindale Brightwood CDC, in which we will refer those individuals to them.
Nice. I love it. I love it. So, the program will be ending in 2025. Is
Yes.
that for Martin? So then they will be transferred to, okay.
Yeah, to the
And when
Martindale
is your
Brightwood.
last cohort?
The last cohort will start in March of this year, 2025. It'll end. The cohort is for 7 weeks. Training is from on Mondays and Wednesdays from 6 to 8. And then that seventh week is when they have their pitch contest practice, and then the pitch contest that Wednesday.
Okay. And is there any more room for anybody in that cohort or?
Unfortunately, no. We
Ah,
actually have over 100 individuals that registered.
wow.
So we do have to be selective in those. We only have capacity for about 25 at the most. So it's unfortunate, but those who can't make the program or who are not within that 25, we will refer them to Martindale Brightwood CDC. But there's other organizations that do this work, such as the She Event, Indie Black Chamber, Keppert Institute. So, those are all other additional partners that we've worked with in the past that we can refer those individuals to.
Edna Martin Christian Center presents the 2025 Entrepreneurship Showcase, May 10th from 11 to 4 at the Frederick Douglass Park Family Center, 1616 East 25th Street. Multiple vendors selling products and services, food, fun, music, and networking. Did I mention free? Yes, it's free for the entire family. So come out and support May 10th from 11 to 4 at the Frederick Douglass Park Family Center. Sponsored by IAAQLA. That's really nice because I think those partnerships are important.
Yes.
What type of advice could you give to those new entrepreneurs, those aspiring entrepreneurs, and those who have been in business less than 5 years or more? What type of advice could you give them in terms of just becoming successful?
Be passionate about what you do, set goals for yourself, but also when it's time to pivot, go ahead, step out on faith and move forward. It will take a lot of commitment, long hours, and sacrifice. And are you willing to sacrifice all of that? It may be time, it may be monetary sacrifice. Can't see your family, for a day or 2 days or for a week. I remember when I had a food service business, Ivey Spice International Food and
Oh,
Catering,
wow.
but also a food truck, Who's Your Fat Daddy Bus Cafe. So we had our food truck out during the day, during the lunchtime, but also in the evenings for dinner time. And then on the weekends, it was a business. It was me and my siblings, but my older brother, he would focus on the Ivy Spice, the tent setup where we had different events, and then I would focus or I oversaw our food truck. But we would have events on the weekends, either Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Saturday and Sunday for 12, 15 hours a day. But then
Wow.
we'll have to come back to work, at 9 o'clock in the
Yeah.
morning. So it was a lot of time, a lot of commitment. So you really have to be passionate about what you do. But also, I would say that you have to pivot once it's time to pivot. So if products aren't selling like you want them to, or your services, or that particular business isn't doing as well, then you have to pivot if you feel that you are a businessman or
Yeah.
woman.
Yeah.
You know, I am a serial entrepreneur. So I've had several businesses. In college, I had an entertainment and promotional company, me and my partner, Bradley Stewart, in which we threw parties on campus, off campus. But also there were times where, we weren't making any money, so we had to pivot, in college to say, okay, what are other opportunities that we would like to do? So we actually partnered with the church that I was attending, St. Paul Missionary Baptist Church, and with the Heights Center, in which we did a turkey drive for 3 years.
Oh,
So
wow.
during Thanksgiving, we fed the community of Terre Haute. Also, I had I do currently have a consulting business, a Valued Faithful Solutions. So I started that about 20 years
Oh,
ago.
wow.
Yeah, it's
Okay.
about 20 years ago when I was in
Are
college.
you 20?
No,
Oh,
far from
oh,
it.
20 years ago. How were you,
Yes,
10?
yes, yes. So my major in college was marketing with a specialization in advertisement. So that's how I started my promotional and entertainment company, doing a project, for my marketing class. But from there, I started to help individuals out with developing business plans and doing business coaching. So after I graduated college, I had that business and it was going good for a while, and then it just went dormant. So I'm like, hey, what's going on? So as I start working in the nonprofit industry, I would write grants and develop programming for a lot of individuals, and for the organizations that I was with. So from there, I was okay. Well, if I'm receiving grants of hundreds of thousands and millions of dollars for this organization, well, I can do that on my own
Right.
to help other organizations or individuals out. So I had to pivot. So for about 5-6 years of that time, I wasn't doing any business coaching. I was developing grants and proposals and things like that. So in saying all of that, there may be times where you may have a slow season, or that business, may dissolve and end. So, like I said, if you're passionate about business, so one thing I know we talked about previously is the free business training. We're not trying to develop the business. We're trying to really develop the entrepreneur.
Yes.
Because when you develop the entrepreneur, if your business fails, then they can come back and start something else. But
Absolutely.
if you just focus on just the business and it fails, then you kind of stuck, and it hurts. Trust me. I've had a thrift store that I made $25 a day, but it was the best $25 a day I ever made. Um, you know, but but unfortunately, we our food service business. We got a contract. I still call it Deer Creek, but it's not Deer Creek anymore.
Okay.
The Clip Center. I forgot what it's called. But we had a contract with them. We had a contract downtown at the White River Theater. So it was like we was just too busy to sustain the thrift store.
Gotcha.
So we had to close that down. So we had to pivot because we had better opportunity with the food service business. So once again,
I love it. I love it. And thank you so much. This has been an amazing time talking to you,
thank
Ivy.
you.
If we have people out there that know Edna Martin Christian Center had this program, they're looking forward to the next one, and even though we're talking about moving them over, how can they get connected to these other resources? Can they still come through Edna Martin, or should they go through some of those other resources directly?
Well, I would say first is go to them directly. All of them have websites or social media pages, so you can just Google, their names. But if they still want to talk to me or them, they can always email me,
Okay. Or
and
if
I
they just
can.
don't remember,
Right, exactly.
who you said was involved.
Yes,
Okay, good.
that'll be no problem.
Well, it was amazing talking to you today.
Well, thank you.
Yes, please come back and join us again.
Will do.
Thank you for tuning in tonight to Get the Bag, Business Access and Gains, where your success is in the bag.